Surprise, surprise. Hey, you guys. We're here on Thanksgiving's Eve, and we're here, and we have this book here, and we're going to keep reading it. Yeah. As per usual, it's you guys, and we got Oreo Jr. We found him. He ran away. He still got the same clothes on from Sunday. It's fine. But he smells a little rank. We'll get him to the shower. So we got Oreo Jr., we got Scott, we got me, and we're here. And we got Christopher Pike, and we're here. And we're about to, see what Freedom Jack's story is about, huh? Y'all ready? Right. Y'all ready? Yeah. So, okay, before we get started, thus far, because what are we, 2 chapters in? You guys, who is your favorite character? Mine's is Poppycorn, okay? Y'all know I love a chick that got a little sarcasm. Scott, who's your favorite?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe Bill Clark.
This is why we don't invite Scott nowhere. This is why we don't invite him nowhere. Y'all put it down in the comment who y'all favorite person is. And if you feel like it, put why that's your favorite character thus far. Okay, well, wait, why is Bill your favorite character, Scott? Why?
I don't know. I just picked the person.
Okay, you just pick somebody. Don't be like Scott. Y'all have a reason why. Okay, well, let's get it on. Let's get it on with chapter 3. Y'all ready? You ready, Scott?
Ready.
Oreo Jr., you ready? Umi down there, he ready. John and Candace first met when they were juniors in high school, Free said. John had just come to the LA area where a lot of their story takes place. He was originally from Detroit, period. The Motor City. His mom and his stepdad moved to LA because his stepfather had been laid off at a GM plant. Told you, period. Period. Motor City, baby. He was looking for work. The family didn't have much money. John had to get a job right away on top of going to school. He worked at a gas station doing everything his boss was too lazy to do. Okay, at least he know. John was great with cars, and he could fix anything that was broken. He was kind of wild. Sometimes he broke things that didn't need to be fixed. He was a cool guy, though, and wasn't going to be a mechanic all his life. Not with his good grades, period. You better be smart, baby. He said he's going to work his way up here and ditch your servant right now. He took a lot of math and hard sciences and knew he would be an engineer one day, period. John ran into Candace not long after he started his new school. She was a beauty, and John always had an eye for good women. Scott got an eye for good women too. Here I am. He called her Candy, although she didn't let anyone else call her that. They shared a math class. Candy wasn't the academic type. She liked to read, but mainly she enjoyed sitting and spacing out. Girl, she liked to get high. That's what they saying. They saying it without saying it. She liked to get a little Mary Jane. She was a dreamer, that Candy. She should have been born on the moon. Okay. Was she a Martian? Or damn. Anyway, John began to help her with her math before he had even asked her out. He knew right from the start he wanted her. Let's stop real quick. Now, I don't know if there are any gentlemen on here, but if y'all are looking for women, don't just go in there just all overt with it. Be covert. Be like John. John went in there. He like, girl, you ain't good with math. I am. Let me help you. And slowly she gonna be like, oh man, he helps. He provided me with help. He, do that. Follow John's rules right here. You see a woman you want, get in there through helping her. Women like that. Just FYI, some women, not all. I can't say all. But okay, let's keep going. What say you, Scott, though? That's how Scott got me. Scott changed my tire because I popped tires. I curb check and the tires pop. They're not sturdy. He was just bidding his time, being cool. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, being cool. And she really needed his help. She had a C that was looking more and more like a D every day. Girl, me too. My math bad too. Candy needed more than tutoring. John moved so he was sitting behind her, and during tests, he would pass her the answers. Period, John. John said, honey, I'm working hard to get this check. John was a whiz at math. Candy's grade went from a C to a B in a month, period. The teacher was out at lunch, so they never got caught. Candy would have gotten an A in class if she hadn't started so far down the hole. John did get an A. He got A's in practically everything. Genius. Finally, Candy and John started dating. He didn't even ask her out. She asked him out. Sir, because you was over there helping her. Y'all better take notes here. Because you was over there helping her. She was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He don't even want to date me. He just doing it off of GP. She was hot for him by then. John was hot for her, but he liked a girl bouncing before he jumped, if you know what I mean. They went to the movies, ate, drank beer, the usual teen scene. That is not usual. Children, if you are listening, 21 is when you are able to drink. They went to the beach a lot too. Candy liked to have fornication and sun lying on the warm sand. By then, they were heavily involved, physically, I mean. They did it just about every day. Hey, they got along great. Their junior year ended, and of course, they had more free time, although John still had to work hard at the gas station. If he wasn't bringing home the bacon, his stepfather carved it out of his ass with a belt. Oh, that's sad. Stepfather, get a damn job, sir. Get a damn job and stop beating this child for money. The guy had lost a few screws welding on, the guys had lost a few screws welding on so many boats for so many years on the assembly lines in Detroit. They couldn't stand the sight of each other. But all this time, John didn't know that Candy was keeping a secret from him. He didn't find it out until they were already back in school for their senior year. You see, Candy didn't take any art classes. Her parents wanted her to be a doctor. I say her parents and not her because Candy didn't really know what she wanted to do with her life. Most teenagers don't. The one thing she knew was she loved to draw. She was a genius, really, when it came to sketching and stuff. That's her natural talent, and they need to nurture that. Da Vinci was good at the same stuff, and we still know him. But she kept her ability secret from John because she was afraid he would make fun of her. That was one thing about John. He couldn't stop teasing people. He would tease a guy pushing himself up a hill in a wheelchair, not because he wanted to hurt the guy's feelings, but because he wanted to get a laugh out of him. John was always trying to get a laugh out of everybody. Well, one day he stopped by Candy's house when she didn't expect him. Sir, you ain't never supposed to just show up to somebody's house without asking. Omi. Sorry, that's my cat. Sorry. She was up in her room working when he walked in. She had an easel set up by the window with a drawing of John and herself at the beach. She was sketching John then. She was using charcoal. Candy only drew in black. Later, she told John it was because she was colorblind. Oh, that's super dope. It's a colorblind artist. I would love to see what they would draw because it's only in black and white. So, But he thought she was just kidding. A minuscule number of girls are colorblind, John knew. Anyway, he walked in on her while she was in the middle of sketching, and she just about unalived of embarrassment. And Candy didn't embarrass easily. How could she when her brain was always sitting on the goddamn moon? But she was sensitive when it came to her art. Erykah Badu sensitive about her. She an artist. She's sensitive about her shit too. She said in her concerts, I love E. Badu. Shout out to her. She knew John would razz her to no end, which was exactly what he did. But I knew John. I knew how he really felt about Candy's work. Her talent blew him away. It really did. The second he saw her drawing of him, his jaw dropped. He couldn't believe how much power she put in it. She caught a side of John not many people knew. The strong John, the one who could make things happen. He could have been great. But John didn't let his jaw stay dropped. He quickly started in on her, saying that she had made his ears too big and his nose too long, and that he shouldn't be carrying a rifle. He should be carrying a rifle and looking macho. He would have came in there talking that stuff, and I would have took that charcoal and just painted. I would have just scribbled right on over him and be like, how I look now? But I'm mean, so, don't do that in real life. That's just me. Candy couldn't listen. She pulled the sketch down, tore it in two, and threw the pieces in the garbage. She started crying, which just made John hassle her more. Girl, you should have did what I said. He saw it as an invitation to score more points. John saw all of life this way, that he had to score, to get ahead while the getting was good. Candy was the opposite. She let things happen, and if nothing happens, so much the better. She could bury her head in a book and know the world was going to keep turning. Afterward, though, John felt bad for giving Candy such a hard time. He wanted to see more of her stuff, but she wouldn't show him. She took all of her sketches and hid them at a girlfriend's house. From then on, John never knew what she was drawing. It bugged him. He cared about Candy. He wanted to be involved in all parts of her life. Sir, then stop talking shit. It's like an easy equation. Like, it's like, oh, sir, what's 2 minus 2? I don't know. Sir, stop talking shit. Read the room, sir. He wanted to be involved in all parts of her life, but she couldn't let him in, and that was too bad for her because John could have helped her get ahead, pushed her in the right direction. He had the damn opportunity. He pushed her in the wrong direction. He started dragging the hell out of that woman, and she got sensitive and cried. What do you mean if she had let him in, he could have took her in the right direction? Why the hell he didn't seize the moment? John was could already see that Candy wasn't cut out to be a doctor. She didn't have the discipline. He tried explaining that to her parents, but then they didn't want him coming around, so he bagged off. John was pragmatic. He wasn't about to give up on his girl just to save her vocation. The year went on. John got great grades. Candy did as well. Yeah, because John over there giving her them answers. Mainly because John passed her the answers on every test they took. They had arranged their schedules, so they spent almost the entire day sitting beside each other. John and Candy mastered the cheating with mirrors, flying spitballs, invisible ink, Morse code, period, and even telepathy. How the hell y'all master some telepathy to tell each other the answer to a test? And why the hell didn't I know that when I was trying to cheat in high school? Yeah, they were so close. It was like John just had to look over at Candy and she would know what he was thinking. If the answer to the question 20 was C, he would say, I always see you, Miss C. Wherever you go, my eyes can see you. Y'all all obvious. Shut up on me. Y'all all obvious. John was possessive of Candy. If she so much as spoke to another guy, she got chewed out. Sir, you got some fucking control issues. That it's not possessive. You have some, well, I guess it is possessive. You have some control issues, sir. And the other guy would end up with a bloody nose. Yeah, you crazy. Okay. John, you crazy, sir. Okay. Yeah, that part. John had a temper. There was no arguing that. His temper got the worst of him near the end of the school year. At the beginning of June, Candy and John were just a few days shy of graduating. They had one last test to take, chemistry. It was John's strongest subject and Candy's worst. She couldn't pick up a test tube without thinking she was taking an early pregnancy test. Okay, girl, you're not that smart. It's okay, girl. You paint. You better draw. You better get your Bob Ross on. She thought the periodic table of elements wasn't square enough. This was a girl who wanted to be a doctor. Her parents want her to be a doctor. She wants an artist. But she was on her way. She had got it accepted to Berkeley. Girl, how you gonna get through Berkeley? The same school as John. They had it all planned. They were going to live together in an inexpensive bungalow, get night jobs at the movie theater, and make love at least twice a day. Oh, honey, how fantastical. Oh, these are 18-year-old goals. These are 18-year-old goals. The only reason she got accepted at Berkeley, though, was because John had helped raise her grades so much her junior and senior years. She was going to school where she probably didn't belong, and John knew it. But he figured he'll be able to pull her through. Anyway, they had this one last test to take in chemistry. John was prepared. Between lube jobs at the gas station, he had studied his brains out. Candy had spent the same amount of time drawing pictures of God knew what. She walked into the test barely knowing the formula for water was H2O. They planned how John would get her the answers before the test begun. But they hadn't planned enough. Oh, Lord. It's going to go bad. By this time, they were both cocky and thought that all the teachers were fooled. They never thought they would get caught. Their teacher's name was Mr. Sims. He had the habit during tests of leaving the classroom to do odd jobs in the storage area. He had done this all year, and John used that time to slip Candy answers. Are the teachers, are there not other students? Because usually some other students would tell. So I feel like, how y'all just doing this in front of everybody else? And ain't nobody saying nothing. The storage area was directly connected with the classroom.
He's got people spying on him.
Who?
The teacher. He knows he's just been waiting. He knows that they've been cheating all year. Now he's waiting for the final. He's going to bust them.
So you think he set up the students?
Yeah, he goes to the storage room that's right next door to it. So he's got like a little peephole that he looks through and spies on the kids and knows he cheating.
It could be. What y'all think out there? Put it in the comment section. Y'all think he know? Sorry. He had done this all year, and John used the time to slip Candy answers. The storage room was directly connected to the classroom. Sims would always pop in at any moment. But John could hear him coming. Near the end of the test, Mr. Sims disappeared into the storage area. Candy was already sweating by then and looking over at John with pleading eyes. She like, do I look like I'm pleading?
You do.
That's my puppy dog, guys. She had got past the third problem. There were 20 on the test. John pulled out a piece of scrap paper and jotted down his answers. He was already done with the test. He was always the first to be done. John decided to drop the answers on Candy's desk as he went to the front of the classroom to hand in his test. Mr. Sims was nowhere around. He made sure of that. Of course, there were a lot of other people watching. And a class of 40 students, or it was a class of 40 students, but John didn't think much about that. He couldn't imagine that one of his classmates would turn him in. That was one thing about John. He gave people a hard time, but he didn't mean anybody any harm. Maybe it was the stress of the moment. Maybe John had made the girl feel bad earlier in the year, and she had been bidding her time to get back at him. Oh, snap. Here we go. Oh, wait, I'm trying to find my place. I'm sorry, y'all. It didn't matter. John crumpled his scrap paper with the answers on it into a ball. As he got up, he let the paper fall on Candy's test paper. Candy was ready, waiting for it. But she didn't have time to get it out of sight before a girl in the back shouted for Mr. Sims to come into the room. Wait, I take that back. Candy did have time to get rid of the evidence. She could have stuffed a ball of paper into her mouth and swallowed it, but she froze. That's the only way we could have got rid of the paper. I mean, you don't want to say like put it in your shirt. I would have just been like, I would have taken it, balled it up, and did this. What the teacher gonna do? Dig in there and get it? Like, girl, they're not gonna do nothing. What they gonna do? And then just raise your hand and say you gotta go to the bathroom, flush it down the toilet. Like, I thought of that real quick. Like, why do I gotta put it in my mouth and swallow it? I don't know where that paper been. I might get ringworm or thrush. Wait, I'm sorry. I lost my paper because I got upset. I lost my place. Mr. Sims was back inside in a moment. He wanted to know what was happening. The girl in the back pointed at John and Candy. John just gave Candace all the answers to the test, the girl whined. She had one of those annoying voices that you just knew would make her future husband want to have an extramarital affair. Period. Period, Christopher Pike. You know who my fave person is in this story? Christopher Pike, period. Okay? Okay, he said, yeah, she got an annoying ass voice. Her husband gonna cheat on her in the future, period. Mr. Sims hurried over to John and Candy. He was in a sour mood. His wife had recently left him for a filmmaker of animal documentaries. Okay. Jungle love. Yeah. Oh, yes, honey. She wanted some jungle love. He had been trying to take it out on his class by making his test harder and harder. Still, John didn't expect Mr. Sims to slap him down. After all, he was his best student. You ain't his best student when his wife didn't left him for an animal documentarian. Okay. The only one in his class who was getting an A. He watched as Mr. Simmons stormed towards him. He whispered to Candy to make the crib sheet disappear. Maybe Candy didn't hear him. Are you two cheating? Mr. Sims demanded. He wasn't big. He was short and round. Girl, he got Napoleon complex. He had been trying to act bigger since his wife had left him. His face was beet red, and John misjudged how angry he was. No, I was just handing in my test, John said. I don't know what Annie's talking about. The girl's name wasn't Annie. It was Sally. She had a 2-ton chip on her shoulder. She jumped out of her seat and hurried to Mr. Simmons. All this time, of course, the cheat sheet had been sitting right in the center of Cindy's desk. Okay, now I'm with him. I'm with Freedom Jack. Ma'am, you just gonna leave the damn thing sitting there? You don't want to like knock it off there and be like, I don't know who the fuck paper that is, man. You know, like, girl. Sally triumphantly reached down and picked it up and gave it to Mr. Sims. I saw John drop this on Candy's desk a few seconds ago, she pronounced in her whiny voice. Is that true? Mr. Sims asked Candy. No, John said quickly. It's a complete lie, Candy agreed. Mr. Sims wasn't buying it. He would have had to be pretty stupid to do so. Then where did this paper come from? He asked as he unwadded it. John was feeling cocky. Oh boy. I think it's Annie's. I would have said that too. He said, my name is Sally, and you're a big fat liar, Sally shrieked in her nasally twang. This looks like your handwriting, Mr. Sims said, or told John when he had the paper open in his hand. I dare you to deny it. John shrugged. I don't deny it, he said. I just don't think it's a big deal. Cindy doesn't have a chance to study on account of her mother being so sick and all. Ain't that right, Candy? I called her Cindy. Her name Candy. My mom has been feeling lousy since she grew her tumor, Candy told Mr. Simmons. She's up practically every night throwing up blood. I saw your mother last month at the grocery store, Mr. Sims said, turning redder by the minute. She looked fine to me. You should have asked her out, John said. Oh, Lord Jesus. Sir, if you were trying not to get in trouble, this is not how we do it. This is not how we do it. I'm just putting it out there for a friend. This ain't how we do it, but let's see where this goes. Before we even go, Scott, well, how do you think this is going to end? Because he is
probably not very good.
What about you guys out there? How do you
probably end with him hitchhiking and being a magician?
Gotta hitchhike, hey, get there how you can. I don't care how you get here. Get to that magician gig how you can. Okay, wait, I gotta find my place. You probably should have asked her out, John said. Her old man's such a pain in the ass. You wouldn't believe it. I think you and Candy's mom would make a nice couple. Mr. Sims practically blew a blood vessel right then. Like I said, he was sensitive about his wife leaving him. Aren't all people sensitive about their significant other leaving them? Like, duh. And he was smart enough to know John was making a reference to that. He shook the cheat sheet in front of Candy's face. Did you ask John to give you these answers? He demanded. Candy didn't answer right away and only stared at John. Finally, John began to see that things were not going to end happily. Duh. But he still had no idea how bad it could get. He figured there was no point in both of them getting in trouble. He said to Mr. Sims, I gave her the answers. She didn't ask for them. She didn't even know what I was doing when I dropped the paper on her desk. That's some loyalty right there. That man said, I'm gonna take the rap for you. That's some loyalty right there. Okay. What a man, honey. What a man. What a man. What a man. What a mighty good man. Mr. Sims nodded slowly, staring John hard in the eye. He stuck out his hand. Give me your test, he said. John did what he was told. Then Mr. Sims took the exam and methodically began to tear it into tiny pieces. That freaked John out. He had studied hard for that test. It was a big one. It counted for a quarter of his grade. Taking a 0 on it would drop his A down to a C. His temper began to burn. And good things never follow when that happened. Honey, it never does. What the hell did you do that for? He yelled at Mr. Sims. Because you're a spoiled little cheat, Mr. Sims yelled back. He pointed towards the door. Get out of here and take your filthy mouth with you. You can't kick me out, John yelled back. Mr. Sims pointed an angry finger at John's chest. I just did. Get out. You just failed your final exam. You are excused. John slapped his hand away. You're pissed because I suggested you go out with Cindy or with Candy's mother, John said. I was just doing you a favor. Oh, Lord. Wait, peep this next line. God knows you're going to have trouble finding another woman looking the way you do, period. Sir, if you wanted to get a grade in that class, you might as well consider it. You ain't even getting a C, sir. This man wife didn't left him and you just throwing it in his face. This is not going to end well. What say you, Scott?
No, it's not looking good.
I need you insulted this man looks too. Mr. Sims lost it right then. He poked John in the chest again, hard this time, so John had to take a step back to keep his balance. You didn't just fail this test, you two-bit cheat, Mr. Sims said. You failed this class. That fancy college you think you're going to won't be taking you after I get through talking to them. Sir, so because you ain't got no woman, you gonna mess up this young man's career for life? Did you say yes, Scott? Petty, can we say petty? You petty. You too old to be that petty. John didn't like the sound of that. Mr. Sims was talking about fooling with his future. Yes, honey. And John had big plans for his life. He was going far. He was going to do great things, and people like Mr. Sims wasn't going to stop him. But John hadn't learned yet that the smaller the person, the easier it was to trip over him. Mr. Sims had his legs sticking out, and John was running by at the wrong time. John blew his top. He pulled his arm back and clenched his fingers and landed a fist on Mr. Sims' jaw. Oh, Lord. Not you beating up the teacher, sir. The teacher hit the floor for a mid-afternoon nap, minus a few teeth. Wow, Teresa said, speaking for the first time. She hadn't even thought to interrupt. Free was a natural storyteller, and he was gathering steam. Teresa felt she was right there with John and Candy. Girl, you don't want to be there because you're going to have to do a police report as a witness. Girl, he didn't beat up the teacher, child. Run. John was expelled the next day, Free continued. In fact, he was arrested on charges of assault. I told you the police coming, honey. His case went to trial, and he got a strict judge. He couldn't afford a lawyer, and the one the state appointed him was an alcoholic, of course. He trembled every time John spoke to him. He was worse than useless. Mr. Sims and Sally testified against John. Sally, the biggest hater, dude. Like, she's my least favorite in this book. Mr. Sims walked into the courtroom with his whole face bandaged. It was all a show. John was found guilty before he was sworn in. He ended up spending the summer in juvenile hall, not a nice place. He lost more teeth than Mr. Simmons had before he saw the sun again as a free man. But John was tough. He survived. He survived by getting even tougher. He didn't have enough left in his life to soften him. He didn't get to see Candy once while he was inside. His parents wouldn't let her, or her parents wouldn't let her go anywhere near him. Their daughter was going to be a doctor. Oh, no, the hell she not, honey. The person that was going to get her to be a doctor is in jail, honey. Okay, because he didn't beat up a teacher after he dragged him. John Gerhardt was already on the road down to nowhere. That's how they saw it. That was how John's own parents saw it. His mother only visited him twice, and that was because she felt guilty. While John was doing time, Mr. Sims and the school principal wrote a letter to UC Berkeley telling of this incident. They left out how Mr. Simmons had poked John in the chest twice before John struck him. I don't even think that matters, sir. You done laid that man out. You did a KO, a knockout. You did a Mike Tyson's knockout and knocked out some of his teeth. I don't think it mattered. They called him a violent young man and stated that his academic achievements were a result of years of cheating. Berkeley wrote John a stern note of rejection. When John finally got out of juvenile hall, he felt he couldn't get a decent school anywhere. What happened to Candy? Teresa asked. Nothing, Free said, smiling. Obviously, Free must have known John well to give such a detailed account of his days in high school. But Teresa doubted Free had liked John. Free had told John's story with enthusiasm, yet oddly, without much personal emotion. Did Candy get to go to Berkeley? Teresa asked. Sure, Free said. In the eyes of the powers that be, she had done nothing wrong. By the time John got out, she was at school, living the happy life of a college co-ed. But didn't John try to find her? Teresa asked. Free stared out the window. Yeah, he tried, but he found her at the wrong time. What do you mean? Teresa asked. I should tell this part, Poppy smoked in the back seat. I knew Candy better than Free did. Teresa glanced over her shoulder. It was a rare moment. Poppy didn't have a cigarette in her mouth. Okay, Poppy chain smoking. She's like, girl, I'm nervous. I'm tired. I'm ready to get out this car. Y'all got me eating some donuts, milk, and beer. Her stomach probably hurt. That's why she ain't smoking. The quiet girl was leaning to the right, resting against the garment bag Free had shoved in the back seat. Tell me what happened, Teresa said. I will, Poppy said, after you tell us more about Bill. That's fair, Teresa said. Bill and I had been going together less than a month when he came up with the idea of making me a singing star. That was the beginning of the end. Okay, now. Okay, guys, what do y'all think? What y'all think about that? Did y'all learn anything? Scott, did you learn anything?
Doesn't pay to cheat.
It doesn't pay to cheat. It doesn't pay to drag your teachers. Okay, when they're going through a divorce and you need a grade, okay, to get to UC Berkeley. Okay, so that's your lesson learned. Okay, my lesson learned is if you want to enter someone's life, read the room. If it's something that they're sensitive about, don't go in there making fun of them, because you might push them away when it's actually the thing, when you actually want them to open up and come towards. So be careful. Like, even if that is your natural demeanor to like joke around and stuff like that, sometimes you got to pull it back so you can get the thing you want from the other person at times. So when, you know, John was making fun of Candy and she was sensitive about her art, I think that was the wrong way to go about getting that information and going about seeing what she liked. I think he should have been honest with her instead of joking. So if y'all want something like that, go the path of honesty instead of like the normal route you take, because sometimes it'll get you more.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah. I wish you guys just gratefulness. I wish you guys full bellies. I wish you guys lots of love from your family, or just whatever makes you a little bit happy, honey. Whatever your Thanksgiving is, whatever you're grateful for, I hope that for you. And I'm also excited that you guys came. So thanks for coming. We're gonna get out of here because Scott and I gotta feed our bellies. So I'm going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace, love, happiness. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. We may or may not be back. I got to see how the day goes. But with that, skin them a rinky dinky dink, and we'll see you guys later. Have a happy holiday.